Greetings, everyone. It is an honor to be here with you. I am AuroRa. I am the founder to A.U.R.A Hypnosis Healing. I am a spiritual revolutionist. I am a channel to the angelics, as well as I am the author to Galactic Soul History of the Universe, which you can find under Amazon in ebook and paperback, under audiobook, under my website, risingphoenixaurora.com, where I also offer sessions for A.U.R.A Hypnosis, which is entity removal, past life regression, and raw Reiki, again, entity removal, and quantum galactic Akashic readings. You can find all that information under my website. And yeah, I'd love to see you there. Love to meet you. And one thing I want to add to that is that it is all these teachings are self-healing, where you go in and you heal yourself, and you learn how to talk to your higher self. You learn how to activate. All of this is empowering you to self-heal yourself. Okay, beautiful. Now, I am excited to be here with you for this very important video. We just finished one video before this on the beautiful musicians, and now we are going to go over this this video here, which is called The Great Divide, and a lot about the Christ consciousness, messages about from the Christ consciousness, messages for us from the collective, and what the energy is feeling like this month, specifically on the number 9, September. And yes, so such an important topic. This video won't be as long, but do write your questions if you have any questions of overall about this month's energy and what's going on around you. Add your questions there and we'll hand them over. We have Gina and Minnie both in chat, you know, watching over the chat. And I want to set my intentions very clearly, as there's been a lot of hate and trolling and bullying going around in many different forms. So I want to ensure that we're setting very clear intentions. If you are a hater, if you are a troll, if you are a bully, and you're being negative in any form, keep it. I don't consent to you. I am too sovereign. I am too free. If you have any of these types of intentions, keep it to yourself. Keep your entities to yourself. I don't consent to that. I am free. Thank you. All right. So we have our intentions very, very clear. Don't step back. All right. So this video is a very important video. It is part of the two-third world splitting of Earth and the bifurcation that has been happening since the real 2012, which according to the Ethiopian calendar would have been, I believe, 2020. When the bifurcation began, we started having videos explaining what was going on with the world and the Earth, and then now we recently found out in recent couple months, it's that the 2012 was when the V started happening, and then the bifurcating started occurring, which actually in some form did begin that energetic collective bifurcation of the organic and the inverted. Since we are talking about this topic, I can show you a video, but I do suggest that you do go watch this series, because it's been like this beautiful uplifting unveiling of this specific time and space that we are in, because this is really what we're going to be at for the remainder of Earth's time and space that we are here incarnated. This is what it's going to be like. It's going to be that bifurcation where you're going to be in both worlds as a strong light warrior, both in the organic and both in the inverted worlds. Okay, so learning how to go back and forth between those and how to maneuver both of those. I'm going to show you here on the screen. So this is what we're talking about. So we have the 3rd, 4th, and then the 5th, which is really the 6th, and you could watch that video on that we have under YouTube, which is we are going into the 6th dimension, not the 5th dimension, so you could understand that. But all day long we are walking these both paths, these both two worlds. And then really where we are at our greatest strength is we're in that 3rd world where we become the in-between of both. So where we are walking the organic, anchoring that in through all that we are, our vessels, our energy, and then we're standing in between both, holding hands in both, feet in both hands, in both worlds. And then there's also the inverted world, which this is the world that we are in. You know, we've agreed to come forth and help the collective deveil, lift, awaken, enlighten. And you have to understand both worlds to walk this path, because otherwise if you don't, it gets pretty hard out there if you don't realize that there's something negative polarized affecting you that could be from the inverted world. So energetically, again, you're walking both worlds. You're at the center. Okay. All right. And you can watch more videos about that in case you are new to this content. The whole playlist is there on YouTube. Okay. So let's begin. So the energies are very strong on Earth right now. There's what is occurring within the Earth is that the energy is shifting, and as it shifts, there are not just, even if I could explain, there's not even just the two worlds. There's many worlds. There's not only there's only also multiverse of Earths, and there's also parallel Earths, and many third dimensional Earths that are going through a process. Sometimes we tap into these infinite possibilities of the multiverse or Earths around us. Within the level of that, we are say a fractal, an essence of our higher self or oversouls, but yet we are also all these different essences that is our higher self and our oversoul when we tap into the highest level of vibration and frequency of the higher self that we really are, right? So when we tap into that, then we realize how multitude and infinite we are. And as we're feeling these different shifts in timelines, we are feeling the different earths. So we're feeling everything. So constantly we are just this beautiful masterpiece that is shifting like a kaleidoscope, beautiful rainbow kaleidoscope, shifting, shifting, shifting. Okay, so as you're feeling these energies, what it's doing is on Earth, it's really bringing the love light on Earth is getting stronger. And as this love light is becoming immense and building gigantically, what's occurring on Earth is to some of those who are not in matching vibration to that love light are becoming irritated. So one of the main topics we want to talk about is that there's a lot of bullying and trolling and hating going on, even especially around the spiritual community. A lot of people going at it, butting heads like those, I guess, bulls. And it's hard to tap into that energy because what they don't realize is what's occurring is that our energies are, so if you could envision kind of like say Earth is like an onion, and Earth has different dimensions because there's not just a fourth, fifth, sixth, there's even dimensions in the dimensions. Okay, you understand there's dimensions in there's a 3.1, 3.2 dimension, 3.4 dimension. You get to the fourth dimension where you're operating more of a heart frequency. There's a 4.4 dimension, there's a 4.5, and all of these dimensions are multi-dimensionally interacting with one another. This is why creation is so grand and beautiful, because wow, it's quite a masterpiece. So when this is happening, you are, depending on your emotions and your vibration, you're coming in and out of these. So sometimes if you're not in the strongest love light for whatever reason, then you will feel some of the lower vibrations of Earth. And some people who have not perhaps worked on themselves, or they are working on themselves, but they're still, working hard, or perhaps they're negative polarized. They're just, they're just bullies, haters. People who say that they want to get help, but they don't really. And, or people that are like, no, don't want help, leave me alone. So these people are going after the love light because it's irritating them. It's, it's like how we explain like the vampire and the whole, well, I don't know if that's true about the holy water, but I guess we use that understanding how it's, so that's how they're feeling on Earth. These people who are stuck in the lower densities, but they have love and support around them. They have their higher self, their angel guardians, all these beautiful beings around them, but they can't hear them and see them and listen to them because they're not in the matching frequency and vibration to them. So what this does is it causes them, if they hear someone talking of love light, it irritates them, and then they start attacking So maybe they're listening to a video of yours. Maybe they're listening to content. Maybe they're reading something, whatever's going on. And then if they're not a matching vibration to the love light, what will happen is that it will irritate their entities or irritate whatever negativity they're holding onto inside, which really wants to come up to the surface so that it can release. So we're seeing a lot of that, like bifurcating in multiple ways. And what I can tell to the world now, to humanity now, is to hold on. You all, you're not meant to be dividing. You're meant to be just holding love, the love light. Everyone has a different role and a different perspective. I do not align or agree with people who are invertedly coming after people negatively or hatefully. Now we can always speak of awareness, heart discernment, speak in our sovereignty, but directly like going after each other is not an alignment. So it's just something that you want to make sure that you're not being divided between these. Remember what Archangel Michael said in the previous videos, prepare that there is going to be a lot of distractions, you all, and we're seeing it everywhere. So don't allow yourself to be pulled into those games. If you want to write a message or stand up for someone that you see is being attacked, or you see these heads butting, write that message in love, and that's it, and just release it and move on. But most importantly, keep standing up for each other, keep holding love light. And the biggest thing is that you want to treat others how you would want to be treated. If what you don't want to be done unto yourself, you should not be doing that to another. And then you really want to stop and treat things sacredly. So when I speak this, when I comment this, when I whatever express this in whatever way, is this really coming from infinite source of light? Is this coming from the creator? And source is not that. Of course, we know that. That's part of the inverted world, which we're talking about. So it's this bifurcation you're seeing, and everyone's coming into back to that explanation of how Earth is a level of different dimensions and even points within the 4th, 5th, 6th dimensions. And you are basically going into these categories the more that you lift your vibration. But then you're also, what is occurring is that if you lower, then you lower your vibration. So what you're seeing is just levels of people vibrating to their vibratory match of what is within their energy body, their physical body, who they are, and what trauma that they have, what hatred that they haven't healed. You're seeing these beings vibrate to that, and people are kind of losing their like attacking and freaking out. So I 100% support, like everyone speaking their voice. But remember that what you say and whatever frequency it began from, understand that message is going to carry that frequency, and it's always going to carry it. So be, again, very sacred in all that you do. Don't allow the divide to divide within you. Be the love light, but still be that being that can walk both worlds, and really hard discern, how does this feel? Again, all that we've spoken in the past. So that's what's going on with Earth. Is just like this huge Christ consciousness energy. This people are talking about the rapture, and we did a video on that recently. So it's coming to Earth, and it is helping people, those who will allow this energy to help them shift and heal. But it's also, as this energy is being felt everywhere, those that don't want to allow themselves to really go in their hearts and activate and lift, it's irritating them because they don't like the love too much, right? So so that's what I want to talk about, what's going on with the two-third split. It has become intensified in September, and it's going to continue to become intensified. You're going to see the literal people walking in front of you, organic and inverted, and how they're shifting back and forth. One moment they're talking to you, they're more organic. Another moment they're like a little bit psycho. So like we always say, prepare yourself, shield yourself with source, love, light, creator energy around you. Feel that energy around you. Know that no matter which way people choose, because remember, it's their choices. They're choosing to go low or higher and so on. So yeah, it's their choice. Yeah, and just all we have to do is just honor their choice. But remember, we have the choice here to not be part of that, not to become webbed within that webbing of that spider archonic web that webs you in there with them. Instead, release that webbing and cut those cords, transmute them, love all attached to none. Really, really important. Okay. Yeah, and especially I will talk about the spiritual warfare. There seems to be some kind of like UFO spiritual warfare. You're hearing people, going at it, and then everyone's so righteous. This person's saying they're righteous and they're righteous, and it's like you're being pulled in all these different directions. But that's exactly what the Archon artificial intelligence wants you to do. They want to pull you in all these different directions where you're adding on to this person and this person, and you yourself don't know which way to go. So it's really important that you stop and you see, if you see this interaction, that you're like, no, I'm not being pulled into these archonic matrix games. I'm going to just really kind of like, zone into myself, feel myself, and really honor every moment that I have on earth and everything that I'm going to do. And I'm going to ask myself in this moment in time, whether listening to this or whether reading this, is this really the highest love light for me to be reading? And do I agree to it? Do I align to it? And if I don't, why am I even giving it the time? Every second, every minute that you are on earth, it is immense. So it's really important right now that you're choosing your every moment, every breathing, every breath that you're taking to be the highest love light that you are, and to be anchoring that energy. So we had a video right before this one where we were talking about artists. We have beautiful artists and they were singing, and yeah, let's channel in, let's bring in that love light into us. And remember, even if you might even hear people talking about channels or these different things, remember, everyone channels, whether you believe it or not, or whether you agree to it. You are channeling to something inside of you, something that is part of you. So whether it's entity or whether it's a trauma, whether it's a hate, you are channeling that frequency, because we are all a music note. We are all a tone that speaks out. So choose what you want to, whether you believe it or not. You are channeling all day long. So you're either channeling inverted emotions or you're channeling the love light of source. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not, but you are, because that's what we do every time we speak. We are speaking these tones and vibrations. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take some questions. I see we have some questions here, so let's begin with the questions. So how can we make upgrades to our technology, like cell phones, but not give our consent to 5G? So I definitely don't recommend it. Like if you have at home internet, you don't want to go the 5G, still stick with the highest internet you have at home without doing the 5G. Now the cell phones are going to automatically go into these towers, especially if you're traveling in different locations. There's the 5G towers, and they're going to do that system where they're going to connect to the 5G. So what you want to do is, when you're setting your force fields and shields of intentions of love light in the morning, and when sun is going down in the twilights, what you want to do is that you want to set an intention that you call forth an opalescent energy. Now we call forth an Archangel Sachiel, who is very powerful in the legion of this opal light, like the crystal opal. But you could just call it in for yourself, feel it around you, and this live consciousness that is the embodiment of source, also the embodiment of you. And intently surround and encase it, and not just encase it with, say, a bubble of opal light. You also want to fuse down to every point of technology that it has, fuse it down, make it the whole entire phone into an opalescent crystal. If and it will work. Know it, be it, believe it, see it as that, and that's the energy that it will vibrate as. And remember, we're talking about the organic and the inverted world, so your cell phone can vibrate at the most organic possible. It's hard because it is a technology, but know that that is possible if you believe it, because anything you believe can be possible. And then just sending those strong boundaries to not consent to any of those inverted, infringing technologies. Next question here is, Is it true that Yeshua has a strong connection with the sun? Much love from Belgium. Much love to you. We have a couple actually from Belgium that are practitioners. So yes, so beautiful. I have another aura that we're working on. We're working on them really hard, my husband and I. And see, by the time we get them to you guys, we cut out all like the empty space, and we really just want to make it the highest quality possible for you guys to listen to. So with Yeshua was so beautiful. One of the aura practitioners that will be coming out soon, hopefully within the next couple of days, is that they talk about how Yeshua is the new earth and how Yeshua is the whole embodiment and how we are all these beautiful Yeshua and Christ consciousness energy. So we are the second coming, like we talked about in the rapture. So yes, it would make sense that Yeshua would have a strong connection to the sun. But we all have the strong connection to the sun because it was a portal. It was our birthing point. It was our bridge into this earth, and that's what suns are. They're stars. They're collective consciousness of soul groups that come in different existences throughout the universe and the multiverse, and you become a vibratory match to that sun to be able to come through that star. Yeah. Okay. Next one is. So someone's saying there's a spiritual teacher claiming after the royal funeral, she brought herself and others to 70. It doesn't feel organic. What are your thoughts on that? So she kind of like placing herself on a savior that she brought this collective of people, maybe her listeners. I don't know who you're talking about, but so I can answer this generally and the energy that I'm picking up on. So what we're reading here is that this is definitely false in an inverted way, because there seems to be some kind of worship need there. Like, come on, you all. Would I be here and be like telling you guys, hey, now that this happened with the queen, you all, everyone who's listening to me, or whoever in the collective, we just shifted all of you guys into the 70, the 90, or whatever, because you guys are part of that. Or, this is not something you would ever hear from us speaking, because that's ego based and ego driven. Yes, we could collectively ascend into different dimensions, but see, this is really like a deep question here. So energetically, you could have a seventh dimensional being already that you are. So perhaps if you are tapping into the seventh dimension, it's just a parallel linear time and space that you are there, and you can tap into that. So energetically, we are in and out of these different dimensions. Consciously, especially consciously, our conscious and our mind can tap in as there are portals themselves, and they're tapping into all these different dimensions. So perhaps they could have, if we're looking at it in a positive way, yes, I do agree that sometimes we can, after specific times and spaces that have released invertedly, and this information is going to come out. We're going to talk more about the queen and her death in the aura regression that will be coming out very soon, and it's about the third eye, siphoning of the children's third eye. When you see that, you'll understand that we're going to talk about the queen there, so you want to check that out, and they're going to go into more of a deep answer to that for you. And let me see if I want to add anything to that. So yes, when dark energies lift and they transmute and evolve, then light comes forth and things, and the world shifts. But we're not going to say that, whatever it is this person is saying, we're not going to say that, okay, we just, leveled up everyone to the seventh dimension. It's happening all the time, you all. It's just happening consciously. It's not something that needs to be like specifically pointed out or brought attention to. The consciousness and our soul is infinite through the quantum realm, and it's doing it all the time. I mean, like, what if your higher self just creates a new fractal of you and puts them in the 8th dimension? then technically you're in the eighth dimension, because you can tap into that eighth dimensional self of you, right? So just really like learning to not allow all this elite, it seems like royalty kind of elite things that's happening when we're trying to explain things that are just happening regularly, that are just common, that are just part of life itself and creation itself, and how creation evolves constantly every second that we are here on earth. Okay, so let's continue. So how to ground and balance yourself while coming into awareness of what is going on as an empath. The information can be very strong at times. Yes, it is. You want to. It's a little bit hard for us, right? Because you want to stay updated on the information, but then the minute you listen to the information, whether it's spiritual or whether it's physical or whatever it is, whether it's maybe even media that you're listening to, hopefully not the majority of you, like news media, but so you want to be listening, but then it's like you don't want to pull yourself in, and then sometimes that energy tries to pull you in. But it's really important that you understand that these energies don't have power over you anymore. This month is about that. It's just like it's giving like a gift. The Christ consciousness is given a gift because you are Christ consciousness as well within you, like we always talk about. So this energy is gifting us. And as it's gifting us, it's giving us the power, the divine power, to not allow for us to be pulled into inverted games, and for it to be easier as an empath, as a person who is highly sensitive, who is in touch with the energies around you and can feel everything around you and the different threads everywhere. So it's giving you that love and that bridge to not allow for yourself to be pulled into those. Because it's like this wave, like it's this Christ consciousness, source, love, light wave that's embodying around it. It's going to continue on to amplify and grow as Earth lifts her vibration and her dimensions. And as it's embracing Earth, know that it can just come through you and take that, whatever's bothering you, take it as an empath, and say some kind of depressing energy or some anger is affecting you, maybe it's making your stomach hurt, something is happening with you. Just feel that plasmic Christ consciousness energy source, just wisping it away. It's all wisping away, kind of like when you light your Palo Santo, your sage, it's wisping away. And know that it's going, and no doubt and no worry, like, oh my God, did I do that right? What if I didn't do that right? Like, is it still here? No, just let it go. Just let it go, and it's gone. That's it. So that's the type of vibration and frequency the collective is tapping into this month in the bifurcation. The organic is becoming stronger, more crystallized, more amplified with energy. But it's up to you and your choices. Which way will you allow yourself to be swayed? Because just like sometimes you could be swayed to being just love light and being very strong, and of course we can't always just be love light, but it could also be strong if you allow yourself to be pulled into that. But remember, the minute you get pulled into something dark or inverted or something that is not positive, just hold the light, just hold the light, just hold the light, and it will shift. It will shift. Give yourself time. And don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till like tomorrow will be a better day. No, just like the minute you go from, like, right now it's 156 here, so the minute I go to 157, it's going to be a completely different frequency and emotion and energy that I'm going to vibrate out. I don't need to stay stuck in, perhaps if at 156 I felt a little dense. No, it's different. Every second, every minute that moves, it is different. Create it. Okay. I would recommend all our videos. It really helps you ground and balance. Maybe the 7 goddesses, the elements, where they really connected you to nature to ground and balance. So what are some of the ways to assist the lightworkers who are here to assist the collective by transmuting for the collective? Best ways to deal with this? Many beautiful things. Okay, thank you to you as well. Yes, so the aura coming up will be very beautiful because you'll get to watch this beautiful soul who volunteered basically just to heal the collective, just to heal, and had a lot of traumas and stuff, like, that densified her and kept her and held her back. So they talk about that beautiful journey for her. So I think that'd be really beautiful, because when we listen to other people's stories and other people's journeys, and you know who they are, we heal ourselves too, because we're with this beautiful unity of love light. So I highly recommend for you to do that, to watch that one of, again, the third eye siphon aura that's coming up. Okay. But to answer a little bit more, it's hard. It's like you can feel it, especially those of you who transmute a lot, you can feel it in your stomach a lot. Or you can feel it in your heart, or just it just kind of makes you feel a little sick sometimes. And what I can do is tell you is that you are love, and Source loves you. So just love yourself, help yourself, take care of yourself, nourish yourself, have compassion to yourself. And when you do all these beautiful things to yourself, you will feel the shifting within you, and you'll feel that you can then at that point balance yourself as you're transmuting, you know, sometimes dark energies or whatever you're transmuting. So be that light warrior between both of the worlds. Still hold that love, but then also have the other half where you're helping transmute that and then shifting out of it. And once you're done with it, you know, it's really important that you're setting strong intentions. Hey, I don't, you know, whatever episode I just went through, transmuting the collective, higher self, ensure that all negativity is transmuted from it. Set intentions when you're going to sleep, when you're meditating. Don't just, like, a lot of times what we do is we go through, say, traumatic frequencies and vibrations that we're helping transmute, right? And then we just kind of like, oh God, it's over, thank goodness, and we just keep moving. But then we forget to then balance out that energy. Whatever happened to you, is really important that you honor, love, and respect it, really understand what went on with it, and then you start healing, or you transmute it so that it can heal within you. Don't just let it kind of like stay there, or just kind of like, you know, keep moving on without paying attention to what it was, because sometimes it could accumulate. So it's really important that we're not allowing accumulation of these energies, and instead we're bringing them up to the surface and then releasing them, as we always teach. Okay. So how to not absorb others' energies as a light worker. So it goes back to shielding. We have many videos under spiritual development and how to keep your vibrations high, to not allow others' energies to influence you. And there's a beautiful hummingbird in front of me. You're so beautiful. See, the hummingbird is telling you to move. So if you're that in an energy where it's affecting you, the hummingbird tells us how it's able to move, like the Council of Four that we recently channeled, in 4 sacred directions. Yeah, you're hearing us. Love you. And how you're able to move in all 4 sacred directions, like the hummingbird, more forward. You know, birds, they usually can just fly forward, right? But not the hummingbird. It could go forward, back, left, right, in all directions. So move, shift, keep moving, keep going. Yeah, a goddess, Inanna, Ishtar, Divine Mother, really taught us that in the recent video. If you haven't watched that, that'll help you really teach you a lot on how to not absorb any kind of other energies. She really talked about that empowerment, that sovereignty. Now, with the light love that is flooding Earth, will the love light that is flooding Earth reach a max at some point, or does it just keep increasing infinitely? So it won't reach a max until it is like max is like you're talking about like max, like ultimate max. So at that point, that would be like the final physical ascension where we're crystallizing once more like we originally were. We're deleting, transmuting, eradicating the illusion of the carbon-based physical body, as that the physical body is part of the inverted matrix. So we'll be releasing that then. So yeah, it would just be a continual rising and lifting and increasing of energy on Earth. It will continue to do that, just like I explained with the dimensions and how we're altering within, you know, 3.3 dimension, 3.4 dimension, and how we are going back and forth. Yeah. Okay. So any suggestions on releasing trauma? Yes, there's many suggestions to that. Find the root, like we always teach. What is the root that's causing that trauma? And then how are you working within yourself to release then and unroot that trauma. And what is inside of you or around you that's causing, perhaps that is a matching low vibration to that trauma, that's causing you to stay in that low vibration of trauma so that you can't lift. So really, again, cleansing, transmuting your vessel is very important during these times. And the comments from people is, yes, have seen many fights and downright condescending arguments amongst light workers on certain Facebook groups. Yes, and telegrams and Instagrams. Yeah, it's pretty nasty, you all. So see, what these light workers need to understand is that if they claim they're light workers, but at that point you're not a light worker, you're a dark worker. If you're talking negatively, infringing about someone in a harmful way where you mean ill intent, then at that point you're becoming a dark worker, not a light worker. Okay. So when you're seeing that, it is like a dark spell, like a dark nest, and it's everyone who's part of that thread or that comment. It's like these dark webbings of, if you're part of that group, if you're part of that thread, it will try to, we'll explain like the archon spiders that people talk about, that they, help transmute and release from inside of them. So there's a dark spider, say, in that thread, AI spider, and they have these dark webs and cords. And those who do not stay in love light, who allow for someone, there's a lot of narcissism as well going on. So will you allow yourself to pull into that narcissist game? Because red flag to narcissist people is that they like to play the victim. The minute that they play the victim and they are trying to feed off this energy, we're seeing it. It's pretty disgusting. So then when you have pity for them, or you're like, oh my God, how could this have happened to you? Now, we're not talking about compassion, because you could give them love and compassion, but don't allow yourself to be pulled into that, or they'll also maybe make you angry or make you frustrated, or be like, how could this be? And then that narcissist who is claiming to have some kind of experience or whatever, then they will pull you into that, and then at that point you become of that archon dark webbing spell, and now they've just threaded you into that inverted game, and they're feeding off of you, they're siphoning your energy. That's what these attacks are about. They're causing a divide, and they also, they're not just they're causing a divide against light workers, but then they've always been playing that game. A lot of you guys have been witches, in the Salem witch trials. Some of you guys have been in Renaissance fairs, not Renaissance fairs, but in the Renaissance times, or Egypt when it turned dark, Sumerian times when it turned dark, and that's the game they played, you all. Like, we need to stop allowing to be played into that game. Like, that's the game that they played back then, like dividing people, or they would go after the person that was holding love light because they wanted to turn everybody around them against them, because love is contagious. It activates and it shifts and heals you and awakens you. So they're not going to want you to awaken people with your love. So that's something else that could be going on. It depends if are they targeting a person who is love light, and maybe they are irritated by the love light that they're creating, or are they targeting just one another, and they're going at it. They're going at it because one person claims that they're righteous and the other one claims that they're righteous, and that they got the right content, and and so on. And it is just a game, you all. It's part of the distractions. Yeah. Okay. So let me see. So don't allow yourself to be pulled into that web. Be very, very strong with boundaries. If you see someone, say, being attacked energetically, or being bullied in some form, what you want to do is just to send them love. And then if you feel in your heart, of course you can stand up for that person and say something like, hey, I don't agree with this. It's not in alignment. Let's just all be love. Let's just or what is the truth? Read the energy also. Like, when someone says something, don't just take their comments to heart. read what's behind it, because once you read behind it, you will read that there's actually dark sorcery and dark spells behind it. And again, don't allow yourself to be pulled into that inverted spell, because going through all the time that we have in our earth is very valuable, is very important. So use your time wisely on earth. Every day that you live here on earth is so important. Yeah, next one is so many beings showing their true colors. Yep, you're showing their true colors. And even if like you are a lot of you guys maybe have groups like spiritual groups or have a YouTube channel and so on. If you see someone that comments someone negative about someone, this is really, really important. If someone's coming negative about someone, their voice can be heard, but initially understand, we were talking about in the video right before we did this, and how music can also be used invertedly to create dark spells in our words and how important they are. And if it's something that is negative in whatever form, even if they're just expressing their point of view of experience, understand that you, as the person that's holding that space for that group or for that YouTube or whatever, wherever it's at, understand that that energy, if you allow for it to stay, somebody needs to transmute it. So is that energy going to be sent to the person that they're talking ill intent about, or are you going to transmute it? Or are your viewers who are tapping into that energy going to transmute it? Somebody has to transmute it. And energy goes somewhere. Where there's an action, there's a reaction. So you need to be very aware of this energy and not consent to it, because then if you allow that energy, it's that black magic spell that spreads like a virus in your platform wherever you're at, and then it infringes upon everyone. And so that's really important. So me personally, the way I do it is I treat everyone with love, light. You guys seen it through the aura hypnosis, entity removal. We even treat dark reptilians with love, and we help them, remind them that they're light, and we help them spread their light, and we help them free themselves. There's nothing proactive about bashing that reptilian and being mean to it and talking bad about it or bullying it to a corner. There's nothing you're going to get out of that. Instead, it's going to get aggravated. It's going to, try to attack you. There's no point to that. There's so many quotes that we're sharing in our social medias that are talking about that. Otherwise, you're just butting heads ahead. Guys, one of my favorite quotes that I channeled from who is my higher self, who is an expression of Mother, Divine Mother, is we are not here to fight their wars. We are here to end it. That's what we're here to do. We are here to end them. So whatever you're doing, think of how you can end them versus adding fuel to the ignited false fury that is occurring. Yeah. So we're not here to fight their battles. We're here to end them. Remember that. Remember that. Okay. It's all entrapments. All right. So then someone else said, so Zen in the chat said, which is my husband Karma, the sum of a person's actions in this and previous states of existence viewed as deciding their fate in future existences. Very powerful. That's true. Wow. Did you come up with that yourself, love? Beautiful. But yes, every action that we have, so if we choose, so per this example that we're using, we choose to leave that thread there and it continues to build and all this energy, it needs to transmute in some form. So be very conscious of that. And know that in some way it will transpire into transformation in whatever way that you will decide to bring that forth. Okay. Someone else said, yep, can totally feel these arguments are purposely set up as a trap. Everyone reading such comments is choosing timelines. Exactly. Beautifully said. Thank you. That is what's happening. You're choosing the timeline. And what way are you consenting to then for that timeline to come forth into your existence in your creation? I don't know about you all. I don't have time for that stuff. No, thank you. If you write a negative comment and I can sense the dark spell within it, it is being automatically deleted. I don't have time for that. And that everything I teach, everything that we teach is I am the embodiment of sacred love as you are love. So if it is not sacred love, I'm not going to allow for someone to be energetically attacked or psychically attacked through a comment, through a video, and so on. I'm not going to be part of that because my energy is very precious and it's very sacred. And I'm not going to let you use my creational energy that is a source for that. No, I'm not doing that. Now, of course, it's still important that we are, again, we're understanding that what we're talking about, we're not talking about awareness. Like, sometimes when we have A.U.R.A sessions and we don't ever share the specific names, but someone will be like, yeah, I had a healing session from this person that's well known, and then they infringed upon me. They added like these archons, this AI into me, and for a decade I was stuck and I couldn't get out of this black magic sorcery. So that's awareness. That's, hey, watch out for these things. Stand strong in your sovereignty, but that's not a direct thing like it's a dark spell and we're all hating on that person. It's awareness in love light, That's the way it is. I am love, you are love, let's go be love. That is it. So that's why we're stuck here, because people have not spoken out. Like, hey, be careful with yourself, be careful with your energy. Treat it sacred. Everything is sacred. Okay, so that's the comments. Let me see if there's any other questions. Otherwise, we're going to end the video soon. Yes, so someone said there is a coin of which one side is dark, negative polarity, and the other is light, positive polarity. Both sides want for the opposite side to stop existing. Yeah, I guess you can see it like that, but I don't know. It depends on how you view it, because the light, it's not that they want it to stop existing because they can't overstep boundaries. But I understand what you're saying. So each side refuses to accept each other. How do we know we haven't fallen for the same trap? So I agree with your perspective because I honor your perspective. The way I see this is that the light is holding the most beautiful love light, and it's not a consenting and agreeing to infringing energies. Not that it's not accepting. If you're speaking from a love light, you accept and you honor that, even though it's an inverted choice that someone is doing, or someone is in this topic causing a great divide, you still honor, like, okay, that's the choice that they want to live. Well, go ahead and live it and be it. Okay. But hey, I'm not going to do that. So it's not that they're refusing to accept it. It's that as the earth is shifting, like I said, and these vibrations continue to anchor into earth from source, we are going to have to choose what we want to walk, or organic or inverted. And yeah, so I understand your point of view, but I don't feel that light is that, because the way the light is being portrayed here, it seems like it's also being controlling, like the dark, and that's where the dark falls in. That's what the dark does. The light doesn't do that. A light allows freedom and sovereignty, and for you to create whatever you want, even if it's a dark inverted choice. They allow for you to do that. And but now we are in a time and space though. So in this perspective, I do agree with you in this comment, because we are in a time and space where we are going to come to a time and space where that will be no longer. That, like, harming others, either whether it's physically, sexually, energetically, psychically, is not allowed anymore. So it's like you're seeing this constant battle on earth right now where people want to harm others, and then there's like, no, and they're just, going at it. So thank you for your comment there. Very important topic to touch forth upon. So same thing, it's like we want to honor each other's perspectives and then understand, like, okay, this person understands this in this level. This person is bringing this to this level. And even sometimes the darkest inverted roles. So what they do is that they do ignite us. They do empower us because it brings us to a frequency, a vibration that we're like, hey, no, I don't agree to that. And that can ignite us as well. So just really holding the in-between of the twilight of both these worlds again, and not being allowed to be pulled, specifically in the inverted. But you'll constantly be going in the organic. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here. It truly has been an honor to be here with you. Thank you for understanding these perspectives that we're speaking about, your comments, your questions, and all in enlightenment. Let's all just, be sovereign in our energy and really understand that, hey, I don't consent to the siphoning of my energy, and I won't allow yourself to pull me into entrapments. Thank you, everyone. I love you, honor you, and respect you. Sign up to a retreat. We have a retreat coming up in Siesta Key where that teaches you actually how to walk this video, how to walk this, this walk beside the inverted world and walk your most organic timeline. So we teach Aura, Hypnosis, and Raw Reiki. We're going to Siesta Key, Florida in January. Love to see you there and meet you there and give you a hug. And then we are also going to do an online workshop in November where you're going to learn again these same self-healing modalities. And like I always say, I'm no one's guru, I am no one's savior, but I am here to hold the love light for you to find that love light inside of you, activate, heal yourself. That's what I'm here to do. To be that one person. Sometimes it feels like it's that one person that you've been looking all your life that could really understand you, that sees you for who you truly are. Yeah. It's beautiful. So join us there. And then, yeah, we certify all of this through Patreon. Go to Patreon to support all the videos that we do, all the content that we do for $4 a month. I love you all. Have a most beautiful weekend with your family. Embrace and love them. And use every minute that you have. If you have children, if you have family, use it more proactively for your family, to love your children, to kiss them on their foreheads, to teach them what you're learning of the love light around you, to teach them how to hug trees. Use that time that you have more for your family or children instead of allowing yourself to be pulled into entrapping games of divide, false divide. Thank you, everyone. I love you with all that I am. I love you. You are beautiful. See you next time.